Thanks for joining us for this episode of What's Happening Waupaca. I am Joni Kern. Today we have three guests who we're going to talk to. They are recovery coaches, which is a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. But we have Keenan, we have Stan, and we have Teresa. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. So as we were talking a little bit before we got started, I really want to hear why you are so passionate. I know you, and if you go into the Foundations for Living shop and pick yourself up some stuff, I really like shopping there because they have cool things and it's for such a good cause. You are more than likely going to see Keenan there. So it was kind of nice to see him here. He's such a, you always have a good word to say when I'm there, and you always have a smile on your face, Keenan. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So tell me why you are so passionate about helping people.
Well, I feel like because of the things I've been through in my life, and I feel that it's important to give back. The way I was raised was to always try to help others. And by me being in Waupaca has been really nice to me. And if I have something to offer Waupaca, I feel like this is my opportunity to help.
And I like that you see it as an opportunity to be able to give back, because we were just recently talking with a gal named Jackie King down at King Veterans Home, and she calls them challenges, but she has lived through some extraordinary challenges, and your attitude is just like hers. I want to help someone else's life be better because of what I faced.
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
That's about right.
Okay, cool, great. And Stan, you are kind of the same way. Tell us a little bit about what drives you to be a recovery coach.
I guess it's the same as what Keenan said. It's giving back to the community. I grew up small town USA, a few miles down the road here, and had a wonderful childhood, and my dad worked, my mom stayed home, and all of a sudden, 30 years later, I'm an alcoholic. And it's been almost 2 years now that I've been alcohol-free.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's not, by the way, that's not an easy feat to do. My sister, who would rather drink Kool-Aid than alcohol, she doesn't have a clue. But to be sober, because it isn't about putting the cork in the bottle, is it?
Nope. I know at this point if I take one drink, it's over. And I've come to the bottom, and that's what it took. It took me hitting the bottom. But as a recovery coach, I know I can pass this information on to other people that maybe or have been in my situation. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't do something about it, you're gonna lose everything. So that's why we're here. We're here to give you information, help you along. You can call me anytime.
That's a lot of passion, Stan. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Teresa, what is, now let's start out, because you guys came on set today and we were talking and you told me that you were recovery coaches. So tell me exactly what that is.
It's a lot of things. If I get a call from somebody that's either coming out of jail or coming out of treatment, and they're just bombarded with a lot of stuff. They have to meet with their PO, they have to meet with their AODA, they have to meet, possibly with their doctor for medication and stuff, and they're just a lot of stuff's thrown at them. We walk alongside of them, and we don't answer their questions. We help them answer their own questions and give them a path a lot of people call it a recovery plan. I call it a goal plan or a hope plan on what they want and what they need to maintain their recovery. And
You know, I think one of the things that's most difficult about that, there's a lot of people that know that I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I think one of the things that's most difficult about that is giving, you end up, once you sober up, whether it's from drugs or alcohol or whatever it is, you end up losing all of the friends that you thought were lifelong friends. And that makes the transition even more difficult, right?
and helping them not be so isolated because they change their person, places, and things. And like you said, they have no friends. A lot of them have their families given up on them. So that's just part of it.
Isolation is a big factor when it comes to addiction. You isolate yourself from your family, from your friends. It's horrible.
It's a tough life to lead. Of course, you feel so alone anyway.
Exactly.
And it's very difficult to ask for it. And I don't care who it is that's in a tough situation, Keenan. It's really tough to ask for people for help because you feel like you're a failure to begin with, correct?
Correct. And so what I try to do as far as being a recovery coach, I try to give the analogy of, is say you're a person and you're on a team and you have a coach. The coach's job is to motivate you, to support you, to build you up, to encourage you, and to guide you on the right path. That's the style that I take. I'm their cheerleader. I'm their big brother, their big sister, if I got to be, or father or mother figure, whatever I have to be. That's the role I try to play, and to go with the fact that it's hard to ask for help, and it is hard to ask for help, but you try to make it easier on them to ask for help. You try to let them know that you understand what they're going through, and you just try to give them the best that you can.
Now, you work regular business hours, 8 to 5, right? No
Yeah.
weekends, no holidays?
Right. My phone is like, I pass my cards out everywhere I go. And I stick to the fact that you can call me anytime, any day, 24 hours a day, because I've been there and I know what it's like to bug somebody at the wrong time of the hour.
You know what? And when you need somebody, when you really need somebody to say you can do it, it isn't necessarily between 8 and 5.
No.
It is often at 11:30 or 1:30 in the morning. Am I right?
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And because that's the way it works, and that's part of the disease and part of the isolationism and part of what you do. Now, you guys shared with me that you made up cards that say that you're a recovery coach. And who do you give, Teresa, who do you give the cards to?
Doctors, each other. Foundation has some of my cards. We're going to be meeting with the judges next week. They want some of our cards. Parole and probation and parole have some of our cards.
Police officers?
Police officers is a
Yes.
good bet. How about clergy?
I have not given any out or been asked by clergy, but that would be a good one.
You know, to get the word out that you're available to try to help and that your help is experience-based. You know, it's one thing to say, I've gone to school and I'm an expert. It's another thing to say, yeah, been there, done that, you can't surprise me, right?
Right.
And it's received better by people, right,
Yeah.
Stan?
Exactly, yes.
Because they start to talk to you and they start to listen to you and they start to get that they're not the only person in the world with this problem.
That feels like that's been through that knows the next word you're going to say.
And we're bombarded in this society by you need to be strong.
Yeah.
You need to be independent. You need to have control. And there are something, and I don't care who we are or what we're talking about, there are some times we don't have any control. And to know that there is someone we can talk to about that is really sometimes a lifesaver. Instead of talking to somebody that says, you know what, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And sometimes we need a whole lot more.
And you said one word that just hit me before. You said disease. It is a disease.
It is a disease. It's a physical
A lot of
disease.
people don't understand that it is a disease. It's passed on through generations. Anybody can get it.
Chances are 50% that if you're the child of an alcoholic, that you are going to grow up to be alcoholic because it is genetic.
Correct.
And when I learned that, it became less of a, I'm not a strong enough, I don't have the willpower kind of deal. So do you guys, Teresa, do you spend any of your time talking with wives or husbands of people who have problems?
I was just going to say that a few mothers have called me, wanting to help their sons or help their daughters, and I leave it up to the client. If they want to include their family, a lot of times there's family issues and parents don't want to get involved or whatnot, girlfriends. But it's up to the client. If they want them involved, then we involve them. And if they don't, it's basically what the client needs and what the client wants.
It is all about
Because
that, isn't it?
they know they're their best resource. As we were taught, they're their best resource for the recovery.
Now, I found also that if you have a good family background foundation, that's your first step. People who care about you, you know, you can't see it at the time. You can't see that what you're doing.
Sure.
I guarantee it. Your family, if you have a good, strong family foundation, that's one of the biggest plus points.
Okay, so let's say I'm sitting at home and I'm watching this interview and I'm saying to myself, you know what, I need to talk to these people because my husband or my daughter or myself really needs, I'm not sure if we have a problem, but, which is usually a pretty good indication that there's a problem there. So I don't have one of your cards. Where else can I go? Where in Waupaca can I go? Waupaca is a pretty small town. I grew up in a little tiny town the size of Waupaca where people talk a lot. So where can I go in the city of Waupaca where I am protected and I am safe and I can talk to someone like you, Keenan?
Well, I have office space available at Foundation for Living. So we can meet there, or we can meet at a room in the hospital. We can meet at a restaurant. But if you want complete privacy, I would say come see me at Foundations.
Okay. Plus there are AA meetings in Waupaca and there are NA meetings in Waupaca, correct?
Yeah.
Are there Al-Anon meetings?
There's two at St. Mary Magdalene's.
There you go. So there's all kinds of meetings. Where can I find out about those, Teresa?
There's a guide at the courthouse. I know the Foundations of Living has a lot of resources, tons, and our front office is free for the grabbing.
But they're not open at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh.
That I know. You know, Robin has a family too.
Yeah.
But where, I mean, is there somewhere online that I can find that information, or is there a
You
100?
can look online. You can look up under NA in your area. I want to believe it's area 42, area 4 for this county under AA and Alcohol Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous, I think.
And my guess is that if I don't remember that we're area 4, I can go on to like an Alcoholics Anonymous website and they're going to ask me for a zip code or something and they'll be able to give me any phone numbers that I have there. Yeah. Now, I'm out there and I'm watching this show and I really like what you have to say, Keenan, and I'd really like to talk to you. I know you have cards. How can I get in touch with you? I call Foundations for Living and say I want to talk to Keenan?
You can do that.
Okay.
You know, you can, my cards will be at probation and parole. My cards will be with Dr. Anderson at Theta Care. My cards will be at Foundation for Living and when you see me walking on the streets.
I'll stop you and say, I have this friend. How about you, Stan? Where do I find you?
The easiest way to get in contact with me is, and I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds, but probation and parole. I work a lot with them. They know how to contact me. I would give my phone number right now. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not.
We actually, if you want to, we actually can put them on the website. All you need to do is, and that's a very personal decision.
Exactly.
But we'll tell Josh, for any of you that want your phone numbers, so you can be reached, we can actually put them right on the screen for you.
That'd be great.
So you tell you tell me that you work a lot with judges and with probation officers who are seen as the bad guys. We don't care about anybody. All we want to do is cause your life trouble and put you away. So why is it then that judges and POs put so much energy into trying to help those that need it? Teresa.
Ugh. Well, we were just talking about, I don't know if drug court started in Waupaca County or it's going to be starting in Waupaca County.
They're getting it going.
So that's a plus. I don't think the parole and probation are the bad guys. And I've tried
Yeah,
to,
but they're the ones that arrested me. And I'm playing devil's advocate
Well, I
here,
know.
because it's, look at what a rap police officers get, and really what they want to do is they want to protect me, right?
but what I tell my clients is, you made the mess. They didn't make the mess.
Yeah, but it was somebody else's fault.
That's part of
I know.
your way of thinking. And that's what we work through. We work through the behavioral issues. We work through an addict's mind. And just because you quit your addiction doesn't mean your behavior's quit.
And that is something that I learned very, very early on, is you can be a dry drunk for the rest of your life, which means that you have all of the behaviors and all of the characteristics of a drunk. You're just dry, and nobody likes you anyway.
Yeah.
They don't like you any better as a dry drunk. It's really about changing your life, changing the way you communicate, changing the way you think, changing the things that you do, right?
And a couple of the girls, they think it'll happen in a week or 2 weeks, and it didn't take you a week or 2 weeks to get here. It took you years to get here. So little baby steps, and
And that's a really good analogy, and I actually like that, because I was told one time when I was having a lot of financial difficulty a lot of years ago, the guy looked at me and said, it will take you twice as long to get out of it as it took you to get into it. So if it took you 4 years to get into this financial mess, it's going to take you 8 years to get out. That was not what I wanted to hear. Very accurate, however. So I would think that that analogy would work pretty well when it comes to drying out, whether it's alcohol or prescription painkillers or drugs or whatever. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
I just keep telling them, trust the process. Just trust the process, trust what we're doing.
There's a reason they say one day at a time, isn't there?
Exactly.
And sometimes it's 1 minute at a time,
And
right?
Exactly.
You remember that.
Well-
I remember that pretty well. You remember that pretty well too, I'll bet.
I do. I'll put it out there. I went through 3 rehab centers over a period of time. Don't give up.
The chances of success were 1 in 10.
Exactly.
Have
You're
they
right.
improved?
You're right. No,
They're
that's,
still
that's what
about
they
the
told
same.
us on the last one.
Yep, it's a pretty tough thing to kick, and it's a pretty tough road to hoe. I am so glad that you guys came in here today to talk to me about this, because I think this is a topic that, I would relish the idea of having additional conversations on this, because I think it's something really that needs to be understood better from the people who do not have addictions, that they need to understand those that do, and all of the other problems that go with it, as well as being able to reach out and try to help the people who do have problems or are living in that situation with a family member. So thank you, Teresa,
Thank
for
you.
coming on today. Thank you, Stan.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet
Thank you, Keenan.
I have one thing I do want to say.
And that is,
Without Kay Thompson, without Brian Hosell, without probation and parole, none of this would be happening. They're bringing things to Waupaca that new to Waupaca, but they have a compassion just as well as we do.
and we have had Brian Hosell on the show, and I really like him.
I do
He's
too.
he's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. So I'm glad you added that, Keaton. So if you have any questions, we'll have some phone numbers available for you. There are all kinds of resources. It never hurts to just ask some questions, does it? So
Give us a call.
thanks again, everybody, for being here today, and I will look forward to the opportunity to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Happening Waupaca. My name is Joni Kern, and we'll see you next time.